night I saw a superhero, he was black. He said, this is for the street, Black Lightning's back.
So this was a very interesting episode of Black Lightning. It starts out with Jeff returning to Freeland after, apparently he spent 30 days in the ASA. He's back on the streets, and he doesn't like what he sees. The city is basically under the thumb of the NSA. There's martial law. And again, these are all things that he didn't know, because obviously Odell wouldn't tell him that. There's even a situation where some rogue, people from the town end up attacking an ASA checkpoint, and they get taken down by the military. The ASA takes them down, puts them in handcuffs, got them face down on the ground, and Jeff starts to get upset because it's like the image of watching the military cuffing and restraining young black people, putting them face down on the ground. He got a little charged up. He's about to let him have it, but the Jennifer had to stop him. She was like, bro, you overreacting, because first of all, they attacked the ASA truck, and two, this is what it is now. He goes to the school, and he's trying to get himself reacquainted with the students and everything. Principal Lowry is back. Good old good old Principal Lowry. He's back, and he rolls up on Jeff, and he's like, not only, Mr. Pierce, are you back in the school, but you have a raise. You're a counselor now. And he's like, you have less responsibility and less work to do. And then he's just like, I guess the test that you did, you passed them all. And I'm kind of like, does Lowry know? I feel like Lowry has suspicions that Jeff is a meta, because in his mind he's like, why would you go to the ASA for 30 days, come back, have all these perks, have a raise, have a better, have a counselor's position. It feels like Lowry's whole thing's like, they hooked you up and did you a favor. And but Jeff's not really happy about that, because he wants to be a teacher. He wants to help the kids. He went around, he was going around to the school, and Tavon, the kid with the locks, he was looking at something on his phone. He asked to see the phone, and then he saw the video from 2 episodes ago where Nissa took that tank and threw it at the NSA helicopter. So he's a little, for lack of a better term, he's a little charged up over that. So Jeff goes to Nissa's house. Nissa was out on the streets because there's apparently there's a rogue group of people that they're going around. I guess in their own way, they're trying to fight the good fight, quote unquote. They're trying to help Freeland. They're trying to take down the NSA. They're buying guns from local from the local street gangs, and their focus is taking down the ASA. But the problem is they're doing it in Blackbird's name. They're putting the Blackbird logo up every time they do something. And then, Blackbird rolled up on them, and she was like, yo, chill, because y'all making me look bad. And then, the girl, she told her, she was like, look, we're trying to do what we got to do. She's like, if you got a problem with what we're doing, take it up with the boss. And then she was just like, I think I will take it up with the boss. But we don't know who the boss is. And I think maybe it's Lala. Maybe Lala, because Lala before, he was just like, this is my city, I don't like what they doing in my city. But see, the thing is, it makes perfect sense to me why it would be Lala. But the one thing about it where it doesn't, Lala wouldn't, I can't see Lala using Blackbird's name to do what he's doing. That, I mean, unless Lala wants her to join him. And wouldn't that be funny if Blackbird and Lala teamed up? So, but Lala wasn't even in this episode, which is another reason why I'm like, well, maybe he's the boss. But I don't know. We'll see. We'll definitely see, because, like I said, the last thing Lala said was, he was trying to rally the people together because he didn't like how they were tearing themselves down. So Nissa goes home. Jeff shows up at the house. He meets Grace for the first time, and he finds out that Grace knows that Nissa is Blackbird. She also knows that she's Thunder. And Jeff wasn't happy because he was just like, yo, you just put our whole family in danger over some girl that you're probably going to kick out of your bed after you've had your way with her. And Nissa got tight because she was like, she was like, I love Grace. But I'm just like, but he doesn't know that. You know what I'm saying? Like Nissa forgets that she has a poor relationship track record. And as far as her dad knows, it's like, you bring him in, you do what you got to do, and you kick him out. And then So he's not viewing Grace as like, someone that she like really cares about. And that's not just for, I mean, that's Nissa's fault, because she should have done a better job of explaining that to her parents. And then he was just like, because he knows about the group, he thinks it's her, like the group that's doing things in Blackbird's name. He thinks that it was her, because he's just like, you're going out there, because he told her, he was like, it's not enough for you to just want to help people. He's like, no, you got to be famous, like you got to be rich, you got to be luxurious, have this nice apartment, spray painting your logo all over the city. Because when she was Thunder, he wouldn't let her do that. Like, he was trying to like reel her in, because he was like, listen, we're just here to help people, we're not here to be famous. And he feels like she wants, I mean, her heart is in a great place, but he feels like she cares, but she also wants the recognition for it at the same time. And then she was just like, that ain't got nothing to do with me. She's like, I don't even know those people. She was like, they spray painted that, not me. And then she said he was jealous, because she was just like, oh, you're just jealous because I'm keeping the street safe, unlike Black Lightning. And then he was like, hold up. And I don't like that. Like, it makes for good TV, and it's a very good storyline. I don't like Nissa and Jeff beefing, because they're doing this whole like new school versus old school, where he's just like, like, back in my day, this is how we did things. And she's like, well, this is my time and we do this. And it's like they're butting heads over that. And the biggest problem that the Pierce family has always had, as much as they love each other, as much as they care about each other, as much as they're there for one another, the whole family always does the worst job of telling each other exactly how they feel and explaining it in a way where the other person doesn't get super offended. You know what I'm saying? Like, all Jeff had to say was, listen, I'm proud of you for going out there and cleaning up the streets, but I'm not a fan of your methods. Instead, he, last season, he was just like, it's my house, young lady, so you got to do what I say. And I'm like, bro, you messing it up. And then even her, and then she flipped it on him, because, she could have just sat him down. She could have explained the Grace situation. She could have told him what was going on, but instead she got mad and she was like, this is my house and you're not welcome. Leave. And I'm just like, yeah, like, come on, y'all letting me down. But but in the end, later on, like in the school, the ASA rolled up on Tavon. They snatched him up because he was suspected of being a meta, and they took him to prison, to the precinct. Jeff, because obviously, like, that's one of Jeff's kids. Jeff went back to Nissa, like, I mean, he didn't apologize, but he basically, like, when he came back to the house, she was on the defensive and he was more de-escalating. He said he was proud of her. He was like, listen, we don't agree. He's like, you got your way of doing things, I got mine. You're an adult, like, we don't agree. But he's like, but I know you care about the city, and I feel bad. It's like, I feel bad for Jeff, because when she said that he was jealous and he got mad and he was like, yo, you don't know what I've sacrificed for this. And it's like, I feel bad, because even with Jennifer, he got into it a little bit with Jennifer at the school, because Jennifer is actually in favor of the ASA doing what they're doing. She's like, oh, they really are protecting us. And then Jeff was, he was just like, he's like, how could you think that? And then she was like, well, don't you trust them because you went to them and let them experiment on you? And he was like, first of all, I did that because I was trying to protect you. And then she's like, that's always the excuse. And I'm like, hold up. Like, Jeff is going to lose it at some point, because when was doing certain things to protect your family, like, when was that a bad thing? Like, she said that, like, oh, the excuse of saving your family. I'm like, that's not a bad thing. Like, he's your dad. Like, of course he's trying to protect you. Like, but they're very ungrateful. Like the kids, they're very ungrateful at times. And then, he was like, Jeff was just like, look, he just gets to a point where it's like, he's tired of fighting. He's just like, I'm going to do. He has to accept it. Like, his communication does need to be a lot better, but he does have to accept the fact that it's a new generation and a new way of doing things. So, so Nissa ends up helping him. She still got a little attitude, but, oh, by the way, the kid, the Samoan looking kid with the big old curly hair, like, he's a meta. He's definitely a meta. When Tavon got snatched out the school, Principal Laurie actually came to his defense, and I was very surprised by that, because Laurie came across as like the biggest, like, I don't give a damn about these kids, and they're just gonna do this, that, and the third. But he actually seems like he cares, and he was very protective of Tavon in particular, and he got his ass whooped for it. So I kind of felt bad for him. I kind of felt bad for him in that respect. So Black Lightning and Black Bird, because she hasn't been Thunder at all this season. Black Lightning and Black Bird, they roll up on the precinct. Now Henderson was talking with his wife, and she was just like, just keep protecting the people, like, do what you got to do, and good will come out in the end. The lieutenant general, the major, and first of all, I've only seen the major in 2 episodes now, and I'm completely ready for him to kill this bitch. like I'm like, the major getting on my nerves. Like, she got to go. And she just coming in, she's just like, yeah, we taking over the precinct, thank you for your service, fooling, like, mushing people and everything. And I'm like, yo, she gotta go. So the ASA, like, they've taken over the precinct. Blackbird and Black Lightning, they roll up in the precinct. They not only free Tavon and the other kids who were suspected metas, but Henderson also freed the group of people that tried to attack the checkpoint in the beginning of the episode. So Nissa gets all of them to the fence, where the Purdy's waiting for him. That's where Tavon goes, like, he leaves. And then the other group of people, they end up getting back in the van. They end up linking up with their group. And then she's just like, Nissa's like, you guys should go this way because they know your face and they know who you are. And he's just like, yeah, but we're fighting the good fight, so we got to stay. So, I mean, it's like, they're not really bad people. It's like, they have good intentions. They may have bad methods, like horrible methods, but they do have good intentions. And like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if we find out Tobias wasn't in this episode. I wouldn't be surprised if we find out that Lala is actually the leader of this group. So we're definitely not done there. Nissa and Grace have a talk. Oh, and see, and this is something I didn't like either, because when Nissa and Grace were having their conversation, and Nissa was like, yeah, I know who you really are. Like, I know your real name. I know what they did to you. I know what you had to go through to get to this point. And Grace was just like, oh, you know all that, and you still want to be with me? And she was like, yeah. But Grace knows Nissa's secret. She knows that she's a meta. Nissa knows Grace's secret. She knows that she's a meta. I actually would have liked to have seen that conversation. Like, because when they were talking at the bus station in the last episode, Nissa never told her she was Thunder. I actually would have liked to have seen Grace's reaction to that, and we didn't get that. So, I mean, that bothered me, but, I said that's probably just me. I would have just liked to have seen that conversation. Khalil's still running the streets. He's still, because, like, Odell was just like, they're hijacking my trucks, and I need you to find out who's behind it. So Khalil spent the whole episode finding out who was truck jacking, and he found the people responsible. Put 2 in their neck. He killed the rogue ASA agents, and then he went and found the group that they were selling the goods to, and then he killed them as well. So, and it's weird because, and this is why Odell's full of shit, because, like, he even rolled up on Jennifer, and then he was just like, oh, the Markovians need to, because, like, he basically, like Odell got Jennifer on his side. Like, he got in Jennifer's head, he got in her ear, he convinced her that the ASA is doing the right thing. He showed her footage of what the Markovians have done to other people, and Jennifer, like, she swallowed that pill. But the thing about it is, Jennifer said to him in the beginning of the episode, she was like, you're the person in charge. Can't you just, like, snap your fingers and make all this go away? The thing with Odell, if Odell really wanted to, Khalil is basically the Terminator. If Odell really wanted to, he could send Khalil to wipe out the entire Markovian army. And if Khalil ended up dying, as collateral damage, Odell wouldn't care. He's not, like, he has Black Lightning on his side. He has Lightning on his side. He has Khalil on his side. If Odell really wanted to, he could eliminate the Markovians. He's not, and there's a reason why he's not. He hasn't sent Khalil to pull that trigger yet. Like, there's a reason why Odell is, like, holding back, so to speak. And, like, I want to know what the reason is, because he obviously has a plan, because he got Lynn hooked on green light, and, throughout the first 3 episodes, he was planting subliminal messages into Lynn's brain, telling her to take green light. So Lynn ended up removing the drug-related properties of it, and she produced a form of green light that heightened her it stimulated her brain, like it made her smarter. It improved her reaction time, her function time. She doesn't need as much sleep, but when it wears off, she looks like shit. Like, and Jeff even tried to tell her. He was like, like, you look run down. She's like, no, I gotta go back. And their marriage is struggling because of that, because she's never home now. There was this one guy who was dying. She came up with a cure. She used green light and came up with a cure, and she cured him. She ended up saving the guy's life. And then she was, because the kid was saying that his daughter was getting married, and she was like, congratulations, you'll be able to walk your daughter down the aisle, because she came up with the cure. But the problem now is Lynn's hooked on green light. So Odell has Lynn hooked on green light. He's got Jennifer believing, that the ASA is here for a good reason. I'm pretty sure Odell knows that Nissa's Blackbird. Like, the boy ain't stupid. And he's got Khalil on his side. He's still got Tobias chained up, and there's a bigger plan here, and we need to find out what Odell's actual plan is we need to find out what Odell's actual plan is besides just stopping the Markovians. Gamby's around, because everybody still thinks he's dead, so he's still in the process of faking his own death. So, he's just trying to figure out where the pit is, because the pit is where Odell keeps all the metas. Gamby's, been under camouflage, image inducing, to find out, the location of the pit. And at the end of the episode, he found the location. So I think in episode 5, we're going to storm the pit and we're going to find out, what's, they're basically, they're going to do a jailbreak with all the metas that are in the pit. So, but they touch on something with Gamby that I thought was interesting. Like, they had mentioned his wife or his ex. Like, Jeff had said to him, he was like, did things with you and your ex, not work out because of the job? And, Gamby was just like, let's not turn those pages. But because he even said, he was like, I don't even know who still tried to kill me. So between not knowing who tried to kill him and Jeff bringing up his ex, Gamby has a storyline in the woodworks that is going to, I don't think we'll have time for it this season. I'm not sure how many episodes that Black Lightning got for the season, but there's a Gamby episode coming because the stuff that they brought up for him wasn't brought up just to make conversation. All that stuff was brought up for a reason. And and at the end of the episode, Odell was with Jennifer, and he said that we made a copy of your suit, which probably has a tracking device in it. He told her to put the suit on. He had her go up in the sky, and then Jen started absorbing like the powers of the sun. Odell is about to let Jennifer loose on somebody, and she's gonna do something. Like, what's gonna happen? See, what's gonna happen is here's my prediction. Jennifer's gonna have this whole thing about, oh, I trust Odell, Dad, because Jeff's gonna end up saying something to everybody individually, and then Jennifer's gonna be like, oh, I trust Odell, Dad, you'll know what you're talking about. Nissa's gonna be like, Dad, I'm Blackbird, like, this is the new generation. Lynn's gonna be like, don't talk to me, Jefferson, I'm trying to save lives, you don't get it. Everyone is going to turn their back on Jefferson at some point. He's gonna quit, and that's how he's gonna end up in the crossover, because I don't know if the girls are gonna be in the crossover, but we know Black Lightning's gonna be in the CW crossover, and how he gets in the crossover might be because his family is basically gonna indirectly tell him, look, we don't need your old ass anymore. He's gonna be like, he's gonna get hurt. He's gonna be like, fine, like, if you guys are all okay without me, I'm out. He's gonna tag out either Cisco or Barry or the Monitor. Somebody's gonna scoop him up. He's gonna end up helping with the crossover. On Black Lightning, Jennifer, Nissa, and everybody, they're gonna get in trouble. They're gonna get captured. Odell's finally gonna turn on them, and he's gonna be keeping them captive, because Odell threatened the family a couple of times to Jeff, and Jeff's looking to put his foot up on Odell's ass. He was like, if you go out as Black Lightning against my wishes, I'll put your family in the pit. So I think what's gonna happen is he's gonna snatch him up. He's gonna snatch the family up. He's gonna put him in the pit. When Jeff comes back from the crossover, he's gonna find out his family's in the pit, and then he's gonna go ballistic, and he's gonna light that whole damn city up. So but good stuff for Black Lightning. Like I said, we're missing Lala and Tobias. Like I said, the curly haired kid is a meta. And Yeah, like I said, I'm hooked. Like I'm ready to do this, and I'm ready for Nissa to put the Blackbird. I'm ready for Nissa to put the Thunder costume back on. You know, like let that gang be the Blackbird gang, and then, well, at least Nissa's whole thing is she can always go back to that if Blackbird ever gets compromised. But yeah, definitely good episode of Black Lightning, and I'm ready for next week's episode because this is getting good. It's getting very good, and I'm here for it.